Dear students, good morning. I once again welcome you to this first unit titled An Astrologer's Day, written by R.K. Narayan. I gave you a detailed account of the description, the narration, the beautiful narration put forth by our author, Astrologer's Day, how impressive, interesting it is, and how this astrologer has been eking out his living through various techniques. Now you have an idea as to how the astrologer looks, what kind of equipment he has, paraphernalia he has, and the techniques he adopted for drawing the crowds towards him, and various other. The location he has chosen, a beautiful location, a suitable, apt location, and all these kinds of things. And I explained you, hope you remember, in my last class, when one day he was about to pack up all these paraphernalia, professional equipment. It was getting dark, and with the little light available, he was packing up all his equipment. When he was about to leave, suddenly he caught the attention of a client, a new client who was standing there. When he saw that new client standing there, he was not interested in astrology, of course, but astrologer himself interfered and insisted him on taking some information from him. And when he forced him, he started talking to the astrologer. This is how we started. And the stranger did not believe his astrology at all. I explained what kind of conversation, arguments took place between these two persons, between the astrologer and the stranger. Stranger did not believe in his astrology. So he challenged him. He was ready to pay 6 annas, provided he got right answers for his questions. And after kind of argument, the pact between these two people was agreed, a kind of consensus. They came to a consensus agreement that he had to answer all the questions. If he fails to answer all the questions, he has to return the amount with interest, astrologer. So pact was agreed. So that's how, when he was about to leave, suddenly he was caught in this kind of situation, astrologer. But meanwhile, what happened? The stranger lit his cheroot. Cheroot, I explained in the last class, it's a kind of cigar pipe. When he lit his cheroot, the astrologer caught a glimpse of his face. He looked at his face. When he looked at his face, suddenly there came a change in the astrologer's mindset. He identified who the stranger was. And the kind of situation, the kind of facial expressions the astrologer expressed showed, they indicate that there is a kind of connection between these two people. Astrologer identified the stranger, but whereas the stranger did not identify the astrologer. Kind of connection, this kind of situation was there. So immediately he felt scared. Astrologer was not willing to continue. He was not interested in foretelling the future of this man, stranger, who came there. But he immediately told him that he is not willing to continue and withdraw his challenge. But the stranger insisted on him. Challenge is challenge. There's no question of leaving at all. We have to continue. You have to stick to your challenge, promise. No question. Oh, he forced him to continue. So then this is hope students. This is where we stopped in our earlier class. Let's continue with the text. Let's look at the beautiful language, expressions, mode of narration, Arkenarian uses, and look at the text and enjoy the language and the situation and see how the story takes its twist in the end. So he made, look at the text, he made preparations to bundle up. He implies here the astrologer. He started bundling up, packing up all his paraphernalia. The other held his wrist and said, he cut hold of his wrist. You can't get out of it now. You dragged me in while I was passing. You know, you remember. Astrologer himself forced him to sit there and seek his future. You dragged me. You forced me. When he was passing there, he was standing there. He himself forced him. That is why the astrologer shivered in his grip. When the stranger forced him, when he was very rigid, adamant about this kind of astrology, when he held his wrist, he started shivering. Shiver, you know, when there is extreme cold, we start shivering, shaking, trembling. Shiver means the astrologer started shivering out of fear, and his voice shook and became faint. When he started shivering, his voice also started shaking, and as if he was very weak. Faint means weak, faint voice, faint speech, faint expressions, weak expressions. And his voice shook and became faint. Voice became very weak. Leave me today. I will speak to you tomorrow. Astrologer wanted to leave. He doesn't want to continue his prophecy. Leave me today. I will speak to you tomorrow. The other thrust his palm in his face and said, whereas the other person, the stranger, he threw away his palm in his face and said, challenge is challenge. Go on. There's no question of escape from this kind of challenge. Once a pact is done between us, there's no question of escape at all. Challenge is challenge. Let's continue. The astrologer proceeded with his throat drying up. Then, so there is no other alternative for the astrologer now to escape, because he's caught in a very difficult situation. He identified the stranger. He is not willing to continue. He is not willing to prophesize anything about the stranger. But then when he was forced, then he started proceeding. But, you know, when interest is lacking in our minds and hearts, you know how we speak. When we are interested, we speak in a kind of manner. When we are not interested, when we are unwilling, you know how our voice will be. This is what happened in the case of the astrologer also. When he was not willing, when he is not interested, he is forced to speak. That is why his throat started drying up. With his drying up throat, then he started speaking to the stranger. So these are the words how he continued. There is a woman, he started telling again came back to astrology. There is a woman. Stop, said the other. He started telling something as usually, as he involves the customers into a kind of story or something like that, how he draws others' attention, he started telling as usual. There is a woman. When he started telling that, stop, said the other. Stop telling all these kinds of things. I don't want all that. Shall I succeed in my present search or not? And he put a question. He doesn't want to listen to all cock and bull stories told by the astrologer. He wants an answer for his question first. The question is, he wants to know whether he would become successful in his present search or not. He wants an answer for this question. Doesn't want to listen to all stories that are narrated by the astrologer. Answer this and go. Shall I succeed in my present search or not? Answer this question and then you can leave. Otherwise, I will not let you go till you disgorge all your coins. The stranger insisted on the answer to the question put by him. The question is, he wants to know whether he would become successful in the present search or not. He is searching for something. The stranger is searching for something. And he is unable to get. And he wants to know whether he becomes triumphant, successful in his search or not. He wants an answer from the astrologer. And if you answer this question, you can go now. Otherwise, I won't let you go until you discharge all your coins, because he threw away some coins at him. He has flung some coins at the astrologer. And now, without telling on an answer to this question, without answering my question, you can't discharge your coins. The astrologer muttered a few incantations and replied. Then the astrologer, look at the language used by the author here. Astrologer is caught in an unavoidable, inescapable situation. Though he is not interested in telling, he is forced to tell. And he muttered, you can understand based on the context also, as I have explained in my last classes. Based on the context, you should also get the meanings of some words. He muttered a few incantations. Mutter in the sense, spoke in a low voice. He spoke in low voice. And he also spoke in a low voice with some magical spells. Astrologers speak they utter some magical spells. That magical spell is called incantation. He spoke in a low voice with some incantations. You know how sadhus, saints speak about they perform some magical spells. So this is what is done by the astrologer. He spoke in low voice and he uttered some magical spells and replied, all right, I will speak. But will you give me a rupee if what I say is convincing? Again, astrologer challenged. He threw some coins at him, of course. But all right, of course, I am willing to continue. I am willing to prophesize about your future. But will you give me a rupee if I say what I say? If what I say is convincing, pleases you. He threw another challenge towards the stranger. That is, if his answer is convincing, if the stranger is satisfied and happy with his answer, he has to give him 1 rupee. Otherwise, I will not open my mouth. This is the challenge, another challenge put forth by the astrologer. He wants an answer from the stranger. His answer is going to be satisfactory or convincing to the stranger. He has to give him 1 rupee. Otherwise, he is not going to open his mouth. And now they do what you like. So this is the kind of argument challenge that took place between the astrologer and the stranger here. After a good deal of handling the other agreed. haggling, haggle, look at the underlined word here. After a good deal of haggling, the other agreed. The other in the sense here, the stranger. A kind of annoyance, vexation, frustration is there. Haggling in the sense, a sense of annoyance, frustration, disgust. After a good deal of disgust, because he was disgusted with, frustrated with a kind of search, and after a sense of disgust, he agreed finally. Then the astrologer continued. The astrologer said, "You were left for dead. Am I right? You were left for dead." He told something interesting, as if something real happened in the life of the stranger. He started telling, "You were left for dead." You were left for dead in the sense, you are somebody tried to stab you, kill you, and that someone assumed that you were left, you were dead, and this is what happened in your life. Am I right? Oh, tell me more. A knife has passed through you once. So astrologer caught the attention of the stranger by telling the actual incident, the original incident that happened in his life. And he started telling him that somebody tried to kill him. Somebody tried to stab him with a knife. A knife has passed through you once, said the astrologer. Good fellow. He bared his chest to show the scar. So it was a real incident that happened in the life of the stranger. Good fellow. He bared his chest to show the scar. Yes, this is what happened. Original incident. Real incident that happened in the life of the stranger. He started showing the scar in the sense, a kind of mark that is there on his chest. What else? And then you were pushed into a well nearby in the field. You were left for dead. So this is what he explained. Astrologer explained the stranger that somebody tried to stab him, kill him. He stabbed him. When he was stabbed, it was assumed that the stranger was dead. Assuming that he was dead, he was thrown into a well in the nearby field. And it was expected that he was dead. This is what happened, a real incident that happened in the life of the stranger. And the stranger, after a few days, after having recovered from that, he started searching for the person who killed him, who stabbed him. This is a real incident. And now the astrologer was telling the exact incident, the real incident that happened in his life. So this has impressed him because he was telling the exact incident as if he happened to see it. So this is the kind of thing astrologer did now. Hope students, now you understand what happened, what might have happened. I should have been dead if some passerby had not chanced to peep into the well, exclaimed the other. Yes, exactly what you say is real. The stranger was stabbed by somebody else and he was thrown into a well in the nearby field. He would have died, of course. He would have been dead. He would have died, of course. Fortunately, some passerby, you know, who passes, a person who passes by the same way, he is said to be a passerby. Unless a passerby had not peeped into the well and found this person would have died, exclaimed the other, overwhelmed by enthusiasm. Yes, this is what happened. I was lucky. I was fortunate. Somebody, a passerby, saved my life. He had peeped into the well and saved me. and exclaimed the other, overwhelmed by enthusiasm. There's a lot of enthusiasm in the stranger now, because exact incident that happened in his life was being told by the astrologer. When shall I get at him? He asked, clenching his fist. When shall I get him? As I already told you, that the stranger was searching for a person who stabbed him, who killed him, who tried to kill him. And he wants an answer for this question again. When shall I get him? He asked, clenching his fist, as if he held fast his fist, fingers with fingers. In the next world, answered the astrologer. You can't get him. Stranger was searching for the person who tried to kill him. But when he sought an answer for his question, whether he will be able to get the person, the astrologer told him that he won't get him in this world, in this life. In the next world, answered the astrologer. He died 4 months ago in a far-off town. He also told him that the person for whom he was searching was also dead. He died 4 months ago in a very distant town, far-off town. He will never see any more of him. This is the kind of answer given by the astrologer. Astrologer told the stranger that the person for whom he was searching was dead. That is one thing. 4 months ago. And another thing is, he won't be able to get him in this world. The other groaned on hearing it. The astrologer proceeded. After having listened to this kind of answer from astrologer, he started groaned. Look at the vocabulary, words, underlined words here. Groaned means a kind of sound produced by people when they have some pain. Groan. The other groaned on hearing it. He uttered painful sounds. The stranger here. Then the astrologer proceeded. Guru Nanak. You know my name? Guru Nanak. Another surprising thing. Another surprising thing was foretold by the astrologer. He told the name of the person, stranger, Guru Nanak. The stranger was surprised and shocked. You know my name? Look at the exclamatory mark put at the end of this expression. You know my name? He was shocked, surprised. The other said, taken aback. Taken aback in the sense, surprised. As I know all other things, Guru Nanak, listen carefully to what I have to say. Guru Nanak, as I know all other things, I know all other things, what happened in your life, I can tell you. Listen carefully to what I have to say. Your village is 2 days' journey due north of this town. A few more details of Guru Nanak were also foretold by this astrologer. Your village, he was also telling something about the village. Your village is 2 days' journey, it takes 2 days' journey towards the north of this town. Your village is located, it takes 2 days' time to reach that village. Take the next train and be gone. I know to which village you belong. It takes 2 days' time to reach your village from this town, and you won't be able to get the person you are searching for because he is dead. He died 4 months ago, and your name is Guru Nanak. So all these details, exact details of the stranger were told by the astrologer. Take the next train and be gone. I see once again great danger to your life if you go from home. Look at the expressions here. Again, there is a danger. There is a threat to your life. If you continue to live here, stay here, it's a danger. It's harmful to your life. I see once again great danger to your life if you go from home. So better leave as early as possible. There's a threat to your life, and don't try to stay here any longer. He took out a pinch of sacred ash and held it at him. You know, astrologers, palmists, and have some sacred ash with them, vermilion. It's all part of the paraphernalia the astrologer had. In the beginning of the lesson only, I explained what kind of material he had. And he took out a pinch of sacred ash, and held it at him. Rub it on your forehead and go home. You just rub this sacred ash on your forehead, and you better go home. It's a good omen. Otherwise, there's a threat to your life. Never travel southward again, and you will live to be 100. He also foretold another important thing. Never travel towards the south direction, because, and if you travel towards south direction, it's very dangerous. And if you don't, you will be 100. Means you live for 100 years. You will be safe. Simply telling, you will be safe. Why should I leave home again? The other said reflectively. He wants an answer to another question. Why should I leave home again? And the other said reflectively. I was only going away now and then to look for him and to choke out his life if I met him. He wants another answer to this question. Why should I leave home now? Again, he was searching for that man. If I happen to find that person who tried to kill me, he wants to choke out his life if I meet him. I want to kill him. The stranger, Guru Nanak, wants to kill the person who tried to kill him. If at all he finds him. He shook his head regretfully. He was very sad. Regret in the sense, very sad, sorrowful. He shook his head regretfully. He has escaped my hands. So, kind of quarrel took place between these two people. A quarrel might have taken place between these two people. That is, the stranger was stabbed by somebody else. That person who tried to kill him escaped. And I hope at least he died as he deserved. As the astrologer told him, he passed away. He died 4 months ago. Yes, said the astrologer. He was crushed under a lorry. He was giving more details about the death of the person who stabbed Guru Nanak. And he also told him that he died 4 months ago and he was crushed under a lorry. The other looked gratified to hear it. So there was a sense of gratification in Guru Nanak now. Guru Nanak was happy now because the person for whom he was searching was dead. He died 4 months ago. So this news is known to him through the astrologer. And the exact details that happened, exact incident that happened in his life was narrated by astrologer. So all these things made him convincing. He felt gratified in the sense satisfied. He was satisfied with these details. The place was deserted by the time the astrologer picked up his articles and put them into his bag. So, the place where he was, the location he has chosen, it was getting deserted. Other vendors, nuts vendor, auctioneer, and all other vendors, they were leaving that place. And I already told you that when he was about to leave, he was caught. So it was deserted one by one. Deserted in the sense, it was a kind of, others were leaving. Desert means leaving. The place was left by all other people. And as usually, when Guru Nanak left that place, he started packing all his articles and putting them into his own bag. The green shaft was also gone, leaving the place in darkness and silence. The shaft light, a kind of light that emitted from the vendor's nuts vendor, was also gone now, and it's now completely dark, and the silence was prevailing there. The stranger had gone off into the night after giving the astrologer a handful of coins. Guru Nanak, stranger, was convinced with the answers of astrologer. He gave him a handful of coins and then he left. It was nearly midnight when the astrologer reached home. So a strange thing happened in the life of astrologer. It was almost midnight. It was late today when he reached home. So after reaching home, his wife was waiting for him at the door and demanded an explanation. As usually, when husbands reach home late, wives seek explanation or reason as to why they were late. His wife started asking him, she was waiting for him at the door, and she wanted an explanation as to why he was late that day. He flung the coins at her and said, when his wife asked him why he was coming late, he flung the coins at her and said, "Count them. One man gave all that." He flung the coins, threw the coins at her, and asked her to count 12 and a half annas. When coins were counted, they came to 12 and a half annas. And one anna is equal to 6 pice. I have already told you. And 12 and a half annas, she said, counting. She was overjoyed. You know what kind of satisfaction wives have when husbands bring a lot of money. And the astrologer's wife was also overjoyed. She was extremely happy to count the coins. I can buy some jaggery and coconut now. And astrologer was also a very poor man. And when she found some money, she was happy, and she said that she was ready to buy some jaggery and coconut, jaggery, kind of brown sugar, sweet sugar, and coconut. The child has been asking for sweets for so many days now. The child has been demanding, asking for some sweets, and now she has got enough money and she wants to buy some jaggery and coconut with the help of this money and make some sweets for the sake of her child. I will prepare some nice stuff for her. The swine has cheated me. Swine in the sense a bastard, a contemptible person. He promised me a rupee, said the astrologer. She looked up at him. When the astrologer's wife was happy, she was talking about the activity that is to be done with the help of the money he brought. Then astrologer spoke, the swine has cheated me. Who is that swine? Swine is a contemptible person. That is Guru Nanak. Has cheated me. He promised me a rupee. He in fact promised him to pay 1 rupee if the answers were convincing and satisfactory, said the stranger. She looked up at him. When he started speaking something about Guru Nanak, that is the stranger, his wife started looking at the astrologer. You look worried. What is wrong? Astrologer's wife observed a sense of worry. He was looking worried. What's wrong with you? What happened? She wanted to know as to what happened, and nothing. After dinner, sitting on a pile, he told her. Nothing, he said. He was not willing to tell anything to his wife. After dinner, sitting on the pile, he told her, do you know, a great load is gone from me today. So they had dinner, supper. After having eaten their dinner, then he started telling that, do you know, a great load is gone from me today. He explains his wife that he feels completely unburdened. He's freed from a kind of burden, a great load, as if a great load has been removed from his head. I thought I had the blood of a man on my hands all these years. So all these years, He has been living out of fear, fright. Now, the fear that is there in the life of astrologer is gone now. That has disappeared. And he was scared of a person. He was afraid of a person. Perhaps you understand what happened in his life. It was the astrologer himself who stabbed Guru Nanak. That was the reason why I ran away from home, settled here, and married you. He is alive. He is alive. He is, in the sense, the person with whom he fought, the person whom he killed, the person whom he assumed that he was dead. He is still alive. He is none other than Guru Nanak. That is why. And you know what happened, how he is freed from Guru Nanak now. She gasped. Gasp. It's a kind of breath, a long breath. You tried to kill? Yes. In our village, when I was a silly youngster, we drank, gambled, and quarreled badly one day. Why think of it now? So he started telling as to, till now, astrologer did not tell anything about the past incident, the reason for coming to the town and the reason for choosing the profession of astrology and the circumstances that made him lead this kind of life. Now, he's forced to tell all these kinds of things to his wife now. And he explains in detail that he was caught in a situation where a kind of quarrel took place between Guru Nanak and the astrologer long back. And they quarreled each other. When they drank, gambled, and quarreled very badly, and out of their own argument, some kind of argument, you know what happens in a drunken state. In a drunken state, this astrologer stabbed Guru Nanak. This is what happened. To escape from that man, he started running and running and running, walked a lot of distance and reached this town and chose this profession and was eking out his living. This is what happened, and married this woman. This is what happened in the life of astrologer. He is telling all these kinds of things to his wife. Time to sleep. He doesn't want to continue anything more and tell any more details to his wife. He said, yawning, and stretched himself on the pile. Started yawning. Yawning, you know, it's a kind of keeping our mouths wide open and take a long breath. It's called yawning. He was feeling sleepy. It was already midnight when he reached home, you know, and after coming back, he had dinner, and it was late, very late night. So he doesn't want to continue telling anything more and started yawning and stretched himself on the pile and sleeping. This is what happened in the life of the astrologer, an astrologer's day. On this particular day, what happened in the life of astrologer and how twisting, how interesting the details are, how Arkenaren tries to give a twist to his own story. At the end, he keeps on guessing. He keeps the readers guessing as to what is going to happen. Creates a sense of enthusiasm in readers. This credit goes to the famous writers like Arkenaren. Arkenaren's mode of narration, mode of explanation, and the language used by him, they're all very interesting. And another interesting thing is, all these are common human situations. He takes common human situations which happen in the life of Indians. That is one aspect. And these common human situations are explained and narrated by him with a sense of humor. Humorous explanations. This is another important thing that happens in the life that takes place in the stories of Arkenaren. You take any story for that matter, it's very interesting and keeps us gripping every moment. So hope you enjoyed the story written by Arkenaren, Astrologer's Day, and you also have some questions in your examination. which are to be answered in about 150 words. It's not for the sake of examination, of course, but to enrich your language, you have to read stories like this. And you can read, I have already told you in the very beginning itself, in the first session of R.K. Narayan's story, that R.K. Narayan has written more than 100 stories. You can read other stories also. You can also watch Malgudi Days, which were telecast on TV, because all these are available now, and they are very interesting and appealing. They will definitely help you enrich your language. So with these, I would like to go forward to show you the meanings of the words which have already been underlined and explained by me, and have a relook at them and note down. Shivered. Shivered in the sense shake, quiver. Faint, weak, become weak. Disgorge, discharge by throat and mouth. Disgorge in the sense as if when we have a vomiting sensation, we disgorge whatever is there in our stomach. We discharge either by throat or mouth. Vomiting. When we vomit something, it comes out of both the nose and mouth. It's called disgorging. Mutter, to speak in low voice. Incantation, the use of spells, magic spells. Haggling, to cutting down or to annoy, embarrass somebody. Disgust. Clenching, hold fast. Swine means a contemptible person, a bastard. It's a kind of, it's a bad fellow, a beast. Groaned, to utter moan of pain, a painful sound. Regretful, feel sad. Gratify, satisfy. Jaugery, it's unrefined brown sugar. Jaugery, sugar, jaugery. We use for making sweets. Flung, threw. Gasped, to breathe. Yawning, to open the mouth very widely and take a deep breath. When we are asleep, when we are feeling sleepy, we do this kind of thing. Yawn, we yawn. When even after having heavy dinner, lunch also, we feel like relaxing and we yawn when we are about to sleep. So these are a few words. Earlier, I gave you the meanings of words which we came across in the previous paragraphs, and these words are also the continuation of the earlier glossary, list of glossary I gave you earlier. Hope you have noted down all these words and make use of these words, this text, this explanation, and a physical test that is available before you. Go through the text again and enjoy, seek pleasure in reading the text and how the things take different turns. You can also try writing, and basically first if you just go through the text like this out of practice and practice, and you can also enrich your language. So hope you have enjoyed R.K. Narayan's short story, An Astrologer's Day. So let us meet again with one more unit in the next class. Thank you.